The song's called Cross That Line. John Paul with Into the Willows. I guess I got into music honestly. You know, my father was a lead singer of a band who was signed with Columbia Records. They're called Artful Dodger, and so I kind of grew up seeing all that. You know, I grew up loving rock and roll. I was probably hearing rock and roll before I even knew it. You know, and there's no escape. You know, as far as the way it affects the community, it's, or could affect the community. You know, Kevin nailed it. Kevin said, you know, to inspire people to play, that's one thing. But for me, it gives me an outlet. It gives me such an outlet. Even today, as a grown up, I'm like, oh my God, if I didn't have this, what would I do? You know. So I would always encourage somebody to try an instrument. You know, I think the first instrument I tried to play, I call her Mimo. My Mimo taught me how to play, you know, chopsticks and stuff like that on the piano, and I loved it. Always have.
I got into music by, honestly, it was the Black Album by Metallica. It super motivated me to want to learn how to play guitar, and I had my neighbor's dad who was teaching me chords on the guitar on his old Martin, and that's how I got into music, and the love of learning songs and learning how to play songs, and then also being able to express myself, you know, through the art of playing. You know, what I'd like to see us do as a band is be able to motivate and get people who are sitting on the sideline and, you know, not playing music, but to maybe, you know, get people together, bring people together to start bands, because, man, everybody loves a good live band, so.
TikTok. I've been playing music pretty much like these guys all my life. I started out beating on pots and pans in my mom's kitchen, so you know, sorry mom. But my family, you know, has been around music all their life. You know, got into different styles. I think the one that did it for me was the first time that I heard Led Zeppelin and saw John Bonham playing drums. I was like, that's the guy that I want to emulate. So. But yeah, I think as far as how music impacts the community, I really think that, you know, John and Kevin both said it really well, that, I mean, it's an outlet for, I know, myself and so many other people, and when you just hear something good, it really just kind of touches you in your soul. So I think that everybody should have an opportunity, if they want to be able to play music. So I think especially the outlet that you guys are doing here, where you're able to donate instruments to children that wouldn't be able to have instruments. I think that's phenomenal, because I know, like, for myself, if I didn't have music in my life, like John was saying, what would I do with my time? So I think it's great, and I hope that with the program that you guys have, that it continues to touch a lot of lives and impact people across the board. And what would really mean a lot to me is knowing a young child playing an instrument that I played, and they could do something really great with it. Like that would just be awesome, you know, to see that. So, yeah.
Trey Smitty Smith, guitarist for Into the Willows. I don't know, I think music's always been in me. I always loved music. What really got me into rock and roll and inspired me was a neighbor when I was a kid. He was a drummer, and he was playing the Slippery When Wet Bon Jovi album, and he was playing it all the time, and I started loving the album, and he actually gave me the old record, and that's really what got me into rock and roll. As far as the community thing, I think the donation of the instruments is actually awesome. There's a guy coming tonight. Before I ever had a guitar, I never had one myself. He actually let me borrow his for a very long time while I was learning. So the fact that somebody can give an instrument to a kid that doesn't have one it hits home for me. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.